Sorry about that. Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. I always forget to put my microphone on. Wow, what an energy burst we have had, huh? There is so much coming up and coming through for everybody. It's been kind of an intense day today in particular. I've noticed a lot of outside energy of people just aggravated and just rawr. And so I'm just not. Seems like everyone has a reason to be mad at each other right now. So I'm not participating, and you don't have to. One of the coolest things that is happening for me is that I'm starting to really, my energy has changed. Like I can participate with the energy around me a little bit more. It's been kind of fun. So, and like, though this really tired sensation's been a big deal for me the past couple of days, where it feels like you want to take a nap, like the nap kind of tired. And though I wake up feeling like that these days, and it's just been really, whoa. Well, welcome everyone for joining. I'll go through to your comments. Good afternoon, you beautiful souls, says Mother Nature 61. Are these energies high enough? I know, right? Wow, we truly are living in amazing times. I've noticed my sinuses have been congested this past week and hands achy. I've actually been having that too, where just the sinus stuff, and there's a spot, I mentioned it in one of our group calls, and everyone has this like this little spot that's like, it's right above, your clavicle arc right there. It's really interesting. The achy hands, a lot of people are reporting that, as well as achy soles of their feet. I had that not long ago. I was noticing it had something to do with purging, as well as activation of chakras in these areas. So the most useful thing I found to do was to water or soil, like you're grounding with it, kind of, playing with it, helps the energy a bit. And I think it just kind of lets it come out that way too. So Kay says, namaste, everyone. Much love from hot as heck, Texas. Oh, yes. There's this weird weather thing that an intuitive weatherman I watch occasionally on YouTube. I saw him mention this was going to happen a few months ago, and then it started happening. Is that like through the middle of the U.S. And up through the Canadian area as well, there's like this line of just super hot and dry in the middle, and then on the outside we're having some really cold temperatures. Like my tomatoes died a couple of days ago, a week ago maybe, I don't remember now. Just we got some snow and it's June. It's crazy. So Catherine says, hello, so happy and grateful to be alive. Welcome. Kay says, my sinuses as well, shoulder and hip pain and stomach. Yeah, so we're having a lot of joints, specifically the shoulders, the hips, the knees, and elbows. Some wrist such stuff I had. So when this happens, almost always it has to do with, you could also have worked hard in the garden that day. There are things that cause it. However, in my experience, while we've been letting this energy move out, it kind of seems to get stuck. Not stuck I don't know if that's the right word, but just kind of congested in the curves, in the sharp corners of our body, which are typically where our joints are. And so while we're in that sensation, allowing yourself to guide white light to that, God's light, as you guide it down, then direct it specifically to these areas. And that does at least ease the symptoms a bit and help. Donna 7, massage tips of toes really helps for the sinuses. She was saying that in response to Mother Nature. Thank you for saying that. Fleur de Lis, hi everyone. Stiff hands and neck for me. So yeah, they're back to the hands again. I've been noticing the neck stuff a little bit. I've been noticing it more in other people. I've been watching people like doing a lot of like popping the neck and stretching the neck while we're talking and things. I did have a period not too long ago where we went through this. So that I call that the dream chakra, though that's called something else, and people keep telling me what it's called, and I've assigned it that name, and so it's kind of stuck in my head that way. but this little spot at the crooks of your neck, the spot just behind as your head meets your neck, that little dimple spot is an area that a lot of people are getting activation. That's your dream chakra, where your soul enters your body. There's a lot of energy, motion, highway-like energy through that area. And so a lot of us will find that. What's more is many of us have had multiple lifetimes of persecution as a result of speaking your truth, saying, being you, lifetimes and lifetimes, not only this one, but others. And so this is an area, the throat chakra area, that a lot of people are noticing stuff with too. So it goes together. I found that as I cleared the throat, as I cleared the throat chakra, then the neck symptoms virtually disappeared. And for the longest time, I was like snap, crackle, pop. Like I was always like stretching my neck. I had got the device to stretch my neck and just all kinds of stuff. And now it's better. Also too, that spot, there's a lot of purging that moves through that area. So a lot of people will notice like weird, like acne, or not even quite acne, like even boil kind of stuff. I've talked to people who had growths just appear there that they had surgically removed and were able to hear it shouting as they removed it. Bizarre. So there's just a lot of stuff going on in this area. Let me catch a cases. Heating pad on the neck helps a lot. Yeah, and one of the things that I find myself doing the most when it comes to these types of sensations, apart from the light, guiding the light to it, still doing it while I'm doing this, is I'll lay on the ground with my feet, the soles of my feet, so I'll have my knees bent on the soil, and then having my hands and wrists on the ground beside me. This really does help. For a lot of people I've talked to about this, they didn't like the idea of like having their head laying on the ground. And so just putting down a towel or a yoga mat or something like that. You can even take a pillow with you. It's really helpful to have the wrists there at the same time if we're doing all of this at the same time. It's really a balancing, helpful tip. So, oh wow, it jumped. I got to find a way to make YouTube more smooth when I'm doing lives. Okay, so let's see. Where was I? I'm sorry if I skipped you. I'm going to just go to hello, beautiful family, says Esther. Hello, sweet Pamela. Hello, welcome. It's good to see you, sweetie. Love Zen says, feeling the transmutation of earthlings releasing. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I'm really happy I saw your comment. Yes, I've been really noticing that the past few days, which I think is a lot of why in my world anyway, I don't know about you all. In my world, there's a lot of like, everyone seems to be angry at me, but they don't have a good reason for it. And I know it's because the light that I'm holding, it's just, it's hard to remember that when you're in it. You're like, because some people can project their anger really good, and I live in an apartment complex. So you're kind of like within the vicinity of these individuals that they don't know why they're angry, and they have stuff to transmute too. And so as they're trying to release this stuff, as the stuff needs, and we're going through the same thing that these neighbors I'm talking about as well, is that when we are at this place where there's enough light to heal certain things, and just as I've said already a bunch of times, is all of a sudden then you feel overwhelmed by me, heal me, heal me, heal me. Now that you can, heal me, heal me. And it's just like a lot coming in all at the same time. And it can be overwhelming, and it can create the sensation of just like, oh, I don't even know if I want to do this, and so knowing that that's what's happening when this stuff comes up, just release it. It doesn't need to be investigated. Like I love, just like everybody else, to when I get flashes and moments of past lives and Akashic and stuff, it's like, ooh, that's really cool. I want to research and delve into that further. However, when I'm doing that, I'm judging it. That's the act of judging. You're deciding things about it, and it's holding it in place. And Archangel Michael is always saying that, to acknowledge it without judgment and to release it with love. Just let it move through. It's like being in a very densely populated foot traffic area. There's just people walking around you. You can continue to walk or stay still, whatever you are doing at that time, and let those passersby continue to pass by, or you can grab onto them and that's what we're doing when these things come through. We can either grab onto them or acknowledge them as they go. they're going this way. There they go. Now this one's going that way. You know, so it just wants to be seen. Because for many lifetimes, we've been taught to, or conditioned to just ignore and shove it away, and then it'll go away, right? No, it doesn't. It just, now it's imprisoned. Jackie, good to see you. Hello, Pamela and everyone. Stacy Starcy says, please tell me others have burning heels and crampy legs. Yes. So I've noticed for me, so I think it's called the pad of your foot, like right before your toes, this spot there, little area here, and the heel. You know, like the arch doesn't seem to be really all that affected too much. Super duper hot, and then all of a sudden really cold. Same with the hands. This is an activation thing that a lot of us are doing. When it gets bad enough, or frequent enough, I guess is the right word, I'll spend time just like sitting on the counter in the bathroom with the water just dripping cold water on my feet to kind of get it back to, unless I can get out and do something else. Connecting and grounding in water is really, really is helpful right now. So that's also a thing. You know, if you use water in a variety of different ways, Epsom salt, I actually think that Jackie says my feet are soaking in Epsom salt as we speak. So exactly, Epsom salt really helps. Yep, salt water. Kate says drink salt water, it helps. Water's been really amazing and really helpful lately. So, I mean, more than I remember it being before. There's something fun about it too, is that when you interact with water in a high frequency state, being in gratitude and love and joy, then it transfers it over to the water. It changes the water structure, you know, and it makes it be something of a higher frequency. Luminous light. Hi, Pamela. Hello. Welcome. Mother Nature, crazy tired, feeling like a hangover or drugged. I've taken 3-hour naps and still sleep all night. Yeah, it's been really weird. Really weird. I don't, that's the best way to describe it, apart from I don't feel the sensation of being drugged. I know exactly what you're saying. It's weird, huh? Naps every day, Esther says. Yeah, it's just cozy tired. There's a difference. It doesn't feel like I've been working for, 18 hours and finally slumped home. It's like I'm just cozy tired. And I'll like that all day long. Jenna says, I have had burning in my right heel for months. It was almost gone, but returned this week. Yeah. So again, part of that I feel like is our body asking us to do what they. So now I know I've said this before, but the psychology world picked up on this, and then now there's a name for it. It's called earthing, going and stepping and standing barefoot on the soil. If you can't go outside, bring some in with you, or in the dirt, even on the concrete, in the gravel, outside in the earth really helps. It ionizes a lot of stuff and helps balance things. But the soil is the best. If you can bring some in your house, that works great. Let's see where I'm at. Jana Jacob. I have had burning in my right heel. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Stacy. That is generous of you. You're such a sweetheart. That was really sweet of you. Vegan Vixen just joined. Didn't get my notification. That's interesting. I waited until right about a half an hour before I was to go live to make sure people got notified. I'm glad that you found it though. Vegan Vixen. Anyway, love to you all from Wales. It's good to see you, sweetie. I'm glad you're able to come. Catherine, migraine on left side behind my eye and sinus pressure. Difficult to get relief. Feeling that bugs are crawling on my feet. I've been getting that too. Interesting. Pressure over top of head and feeling like pressure from a headband. Yes. So the headband one is one that most of us have been having for quite some time. It is. And usually, not always, usually there'll be the sense of it on one side or the other, or right in the middle or right in the back. And I've not had it where I've had all ways personally. It's this really, and it's not that annoying of a headache, I would say. It's just it's dull pressure that just won't seem to go away, and then eventually it finally pops. Somehow it feels like it's releases. The eye and sinus pressure, is something I've been experiencing too, not in a migraine sense. I would call it a migraine if it lasted longer. For me, it's like boop, it's like pop. Ah, okay, now it's better. Like you don't even really have a chance to verbalize discomfort. That's my experience. Though around the eye and also the third eye. So there's a lot of third eye headache kind of stuff specifically right here. What happened to me, it was the most bizarre thing. It started to feel like a little bit of a headache, right? Just on the surface. It was really weird. And then it was like an electric, like I saw like light microscopic lightning, like because they were moving like that. They were white with like a blue tinge, move into my third eye. And this sounds like it's uncomfortable though. And the whole time I was so relaxed and just enjoying the calm and wow, how awesome. And I felt it move through my third eye and then fill up my brain. And I was just so relaxed. And then both ears started ringing really loudly and it popped me out of that relaxation for a moment. After that, I started to see more variety of things that I didn't notice before, which was pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of people are getting this head thing, this headache sensation, and it's in different areas. Everybody has their thing, though. Yes, the band is really really common. With the crawling on the bug sensation on the feet, I'm also getting that like it's on my arms. It doesn't feel creepy. It's just surprising, and it's very similar to when you notice that your skin is buzzing. You know, like your skin's vibrating. There's energy tickling you. Energy nearby. It feels like that. It really does. It's just a higher intensity of it. And so I don't really, I think it's awesome. That's really cool that you're getting it though, knowing that it's not something to be alarmed by. It can be really cool. Stacy says, have ice pack on my heels, tried cold water and with salt. It's intense today. Wow. I'm sorry that you're going through that right now, sweetie. It's just, we're moving this stuff out. There's a big purge happening right now for most of us too. So we just barely hit this amazing leap motion. We took a step. It was like one of the last steps of that particular stairway kind of step. And so as we move through to this other side, we're starting to have a lot of dump happening. We're leaving behind a lot of the frequency of the energy that we just don't resonate with, that doesn't really go in alignment with what we're doing. And so it may have been part of team body before. It doesn't mean that it's toxic. A toxin is something that is no longer harmonious with your body, right? So oh, Vegan Vixen, thank you. She says, thank you for being here, there for us. Much love. Thank you so much. 1111. I love the ones. It's cool. Thank you. That was really generous of you. Let's see. Fleur de Lis says, I dreamed a doctor was installing pink diamonds on my lower spine. Interesting. That's very fascinating. A lot of people have been having something, one way or another, having something about this. Me too. My experience is I'm actually on a ship. It doesn't feel like a dream, with these beings that are very, very, very tall. Like I was trying to describe it yesterday to somebody, and it says when they sit in lotus position while I stand beside them, they're still a little bit taller than me. They're made of this light, and that they were helping guide electric light. And what they called it was, and that all of them are, it's really cool. It's a new word, and I love saying it, musical light. They are musical light. It's really cool. So they're bringing the musical light of themselves to guide through and assist us in our chakras. Right now, the spine being one of the biggest ones that people are having sensations with as a result of these energetic wings that we're starting to sense. And they're trying to help us, the vast majority of them, and the pink would be this love, and also the balancing. A lot of us find that we're struggling a little bit here and there with the lower three chakras, this area where we have the root chakra and the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. These are areas that most of us hadn't put any focus on. We're like, open third eye, and how do I decalcify my pineal gland and all this kind of stuff, when we realize what's going on, and we don't most of us, until we are reminded to do it, neglect the lower chakras. And so this pink is also this root that's helping you release this energy, to ground the energy, to let it move all the way through all of the chakras. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Pardon me. It's that thing, you know. Let's see. I lost my spot. Hello, Vegan Vixen. Catherine. Oh, I wrote that. I read that one. I don't know what's happening with this. It keeps going up and down. There we go. Stacy, feel drugged in mornings and so tired all day. It's a heat wave in the UK too. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, we just finally got the heat. It went from super cold to super hot. It was super hot before that. We didn't even have a spring this year. We didn't have an autumn or a spring. The feeling drugged sensation, I do too. It's just like really difficult to wake up if you don't really have to. And even when you really have to, there's like this extra snooze that's happening. Esther says, I am wondering if all the people will go through these transformations, or just some like us, light workers, or chosen people, as some gurus say. Well, chosen, I would say that everyone's doing it, and that we, to some degree, you know, and that we are sensing it and are able to then heal the parts that go, hey, look at me, pick me. And when we heal that, then something else can come up. And so then, you know, as we heal the things in a rapid succession, as you're doing now, many of you don't feel that way. I know. I'm with you. I get that feeling. I understand it, because they just keep coming, and it feels like that you're trying to dig a hole in a dry sand dune. It just keeps filling in, kind of feeling. But you're doing a lot of work, the work that isn't happening in most cases with these other individuals that you're discussing. So they're not going to have the intensity, I wouldn't think. And then also a lot of those individuals are just going to like chemical answers using, you know, tabs or pills. And I'm not putting any kind of no, don't do that. I do, if that's something that's correct for you, you know, allowing yourself to listen to your own body and to just go with what needs to be done. Wow. Okay, now YouTube finally showed me everyone else's messages. There's a lot more than I've got. Maybe I need to update my YouTube. Okay, now I'm right back at the top again. Okay, I apologize. I'm just going to start here. Stacy says, yes, been doing it all, but it has been the same for months. Wow. Well, you know, allowing yourself to just keep doing it. I know what you're saying. When the sensation continues, it's like really frustrating, and it can feel as if, you know, there's not any progress being made, but there is. Just give it that time to move it through. Bobby says, I just want to acknowledge how dear you are to me, Pamela. High vibes to all of you. Oh, thank you, Bobby. That was very kind of you. I really appreciate hearing that what we do helps people. There's sometimes I wonder, like, I don't wonder, but I'm happy to hear. So I appreciate that comment. Thank you. Donna says, Pamela, I'm unable to find much info about it on the web. So wondering if you know what we might expect to see in our cats and other animals as symptoms. Okay, great question. Thank you, Donna. Okay, so we're having a lot of animal ascension symptoms, a lot more than people may know. The one that people are noticing the easiest is that the animals, the dogs and the cats, seem to be acknowledging the energies, the light beings, the energies that are coming to help you and that have been around for a while. They're seeing them a lot more. And so they're reacting to them. So some people are noticing that their pets are just becoming spastic and maybe like cowering, or, you know, acting like there's an intruder. And a lot of individuals, of course, that's like alarming. Oh, my baby's upset and scared. So knowing that they're just suddenly seeing this stuff too. A lot of them, many of them were able to sense and even see things that we weren't. Though while we all raise our frequency, they do as well, right? And so they're seeing it in a more intense way. And then along the lines of having physical sensation, a lot of hip kind of stuff, exhaustion. So what I've been guided to tell people about is, so I just have this little one here right now, but any kind of crystal, it doesn't have to be this specific kind of crystal. Anything that you have really will work. And to trace it down, starting at the top of their head, and as if you're petting them down their spine, down their entire spine. If you're able to follow it out to the tip of their tail, this really does help, as well as remembering the salt water. I know with cats, it's a little more difficult to get them to engage with water, though for a dog, providing a small bucket or even like a kiddie pool with a little bit of salt water so they can like play in it. While they do, they're clearing their energy out and they're assisting themselves. And they're going to need a little bit more sleep than normal, just like we are. So you're going to notice them napping more, also not in alignment with the foods that they have, just like we're doing. Think about your diet and how it's changed over the recent, part of your ascension. And I was a full-on carnivore, not that long ago, really, and I didn't have any intention. I'm going to be a vegan now. It's just one thing at a time I removed from my diet because it wasn't in alignment with me. So the same is true for these animals, and do what you can. Not everybody is able to afford trying out a variety of different foods for their animals. So this is something else that will help. And really applying any of the kind of things that we do for ourselves with these pets, with our animals. They have the same needs. They need to be outside. They need to be able to be near to the green. The reason that we utilize the green in our healing place in the spring and the summer so much is that that's the same color as the healing area of our heart chakra. When we surround our world with this green color, we naturally invigorate the healer within us and start to do our own healing naturally, often without realizing what we're doing. So allowing them to go outside just like we need to do and to engage with the world around them will really assist them as well. And before I forget to mention this, there's something that we are all being guided to do, and I feel like I'm including our little furry friends in there too, is that being in larger groups or interaction with large groups right now, you can, if you want to, if you don't have a choice. In some cases, if you are able to pull away from larger groups for a time right now. Many of us are doing this naturally, and there's also a call to do it while we're doing it. Go in and go within doesn't always mean go in your house, though that's the message that they're saying. Pull away from large groups right now, unnecessarily. If I still need to go to the store, like this whole my neighbors are all angry at me, but they don't know why kind of thing, is because I'm bearing the light. I'm bringing the light forward, and it's aggravating when there are things, when there are these people call them entities. They're not that in my experience. These energies, these little poofs of black smoke that are connected to people, it quite frankly pisses them off when they're around the light. That's actually how you can make lower frequency energy leave you, and also how you can find out if it's lower energy or higher is that with your heart center. So how you think to yourself, what you feel like as you're about to say I love you to someone that you love just very deeply, and allow that energy to come out. You can even say the words I love you, just and you send out this love to everybody, and that love will go to the energy in front of you in all directions, like a sphere, like a ripple of light all around you. It doesn't just go forward. And if this energy is of the light, it will answer back with even more light. The gratitude and the joy and the love that's like a calming, loving, wonderful, secure, awesome bath, And then if it's not of the light, it will flee. For it is darkness, and the shadow cannot stand before the light, right? And so doing this is also, I've seen the energy on people. I will send out the light, and you'll see these little densities that are on the individual, and they start to scatter around, usually around this area of their body. It's just like they just scatter around, like they're very upset and they want to just get away. And you'll see them move, and then you'll see the reaction of the person, and then you'll feel that person's attempt at projecting anger at you. And you're serving them, you're helping them. It's not unkind to do this to an individual. It is liberating them. So yeah, there's that kind of feeling that comes off of them. I don't remember why I went to that, but yeah, just keeping that in mind. Craig plays games. I've been looking to the stream today. They've been good. My Sunday plays, especially when feeling this weird. Yeah, good idea. Going, looking forward. Let me see. I've been looking forward to this stream today. Oh, thank you. They've been good and good. My Sunday place, especially when following. Okay, I see. I understand. Well, good. Thank you, Craig. I'm really glad that you have this place to come to and that you join us. I'm very happy that we're able to be here as a group because we're connected, in a very deep level, all of us, and connecting to each other really activates and reminds you of who you truly are. That you are a strong individual, all of you. You're powerful. We are many. We are many. And how many of us have stayed quiet over the many years? I mean, 40 years ago was when I knew this was going to happen, and we've been quiet for a lot of years. And it's so that's why we're having so much throat stuff, is that we've put so much time being quiet in this life too. It's a very recent trauma that we're healing through right now, and so thank you for all of you who speak up and allow that throat chakra to start to activate. Vanya says she has 4 cats and they've all been ascending. Symptoms that she's noticed is vomiting, long bouts of sleep, disorientation, change in appetite, and just general confusion. Yeah, I forgot that one too. Thank you. I hug them and comfort them. That's a really good idea too. Being sure to give them the love that they need, just like all of us. Many people are noticing more lately the feeling of like all of a sudden they feel alone. Hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. I love that. I see that several times every day. And just knowing that you're not alone is a really powerful tool. It's empowering to know. It's interesting. Knowing that provides the ability to be liberated and independent in a unified way. I don't know how else to describe it. So thank you. Hi, Stacy. Details, art, and tattoo. As am a bass player, and there's no difference between my sore back and my bass strings. The tension is beyond. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, the back stuff is a big deal right now. Back, and it moves down through specifically the sacral chakra for most people. So where your sacral chakra is like just below your belly button area. We move these chakras around. We switch them around. We bring our heart chakra down into our solar plexus for healing, and we do all this stuff. So they're not always exactly where they show you on the diagram, but this is the basic area of it. This sunset orange chakra has been an area for a lot of people that have been struggling with this, and noticing that energy is moving up into the spine and through the spine it helps to guide that energy then down out of your tailbone. Often we have to, it's most efficient when we say something like root chakra open, and you're asking when you're saying this, it's the love that you're bringing forward in your voice. And then you feel a pop, or you sense a pop energetically, and it starts to move through. It doesn't always have a pop. So if you don't have a pop, and you're not doing it wrong, and letting that move through and that energy to turn into visually watching it, usually in a meditation state, so it's easier to visualize, that energy being like a root, a light of light, made out of light, a root of a tree, and many reaching out, stretching through in the soil below you, really helps to let that, and then the energy can start to move down. You connect with Gaia, then you're connected with God in a very real way, and then this energy flow, because you're all conduits. You are conduits of light. You are light beings. When I see you, I see this beam, it's like lines of thick light, and it moves up and down you all of the time. And when we do it with intention, it helps it to move more efficiently and cause less distress to the body. And so that does help too. Jackie says, yes, I also upped my salt intake and take a 1/4 tablespoon of Himalayan salt in water 3 times a day for electrolytes. Awesome. I've been adding a lot of salt to the food. I know that. Like a lot of salt. And I'll always bring my pink Himalayan salt with me if I go someplace else. It's really funny. Stacy, I'm barefoot all day in the woods and in lakes and still have it drive. It's driving me mad. Man, you're really having a tough go of it. I just want to read into that a little bit more. Yes, had Himalayan salt today. Going to try it daily. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Stacy. Yes, have the hair tickle left sole last 2 days, like something poking it. Yeah. So I've been having that too. And it kind of almost feels like mosquito bite or just a little poke. It's really not the most comfortable sensation to have. I've noticed that when I feel into the pain, so what we naturally do is we pull away from the pain. If we're feeling pain, we go, oh, we don't want that. So we go this way. And what's really interesting is when we do that, we stuff it. We hide it. And when we do that, hiding it makes it so it's like in prison, so it can't go anywhere. And then it's trapped. So what I found is that if you can tolerate it, when you're having a sensation that's uncomfortable, the pain, not asking in any way to ever create pain, though if it's already there, to lean into it. Let yourself notice it instead of pulling away from it so much. And it does help. It really does. It sometimes that's all it needs before it goes to make it go away. And I'm talking about all of these things, just pain in general. It's really bizarre. Esther says, last 2 months, my eyes were so sensitive. I had a sty on me. Then a lot of lacrimation. Then I realized that I can see different. Let's say orbs moving around and something like a mist above me. That's really cool. Yeah. Okay. So we've been having the eye things for a while too. And I had the same thing happen. I thought what I noticed at first too. So I had this weird film coming off my eyes. I think is what you're talking about. It was coming out of my eyes, and it's not like the stuff that sometimes you get in your eyes. It was like a film of some kind, and I remember noticing it and thinking, I'm purging something. It was a layer being removed, and then I started to notice that it seemed like I was losing focus, losing my eyesight. Like things were like kind of going out of focus and blurry seeming. And then I got checked, and apparently my eyes are better than they used to be. I don't use a prescription of any kind or reading glasses or anything. And I'm even better than I was before the last time I saw my eye doctor. And then I started to realize that what's happening is that so we're keeping a frequency here, which is a great frequency to be. And there are things that are operating up here on this frequency level. And as I slope, because this is how we usually ascend, it's like a bump. We're making our way up there. Every time I'd move up to where this frequency was residing, I would get to slowly see it, and then it would fade back out. And so that was something that, as well as other things, noticing that was easier to acknowledge or just kind of have it be normal, is that sometimes you see light orbs and sometimes they just disappear. If I go into startlement, if I'm surprised by them or startled, then this is the spectrum of emotion. This is God, love, and all the others. The opposite of God is fear, or the opposite of love is fear. And so it's not that we're leaving God energy. It's just that we're moving to a different spot for a minute. And when we pull down here, we lower our frequency just enough that we're now no longer able to perceive that thing that's at that frequency. And so sometimes we'll see a light orb or we'll see a being. The beings that have been coming in for me, they'll come in a Vesica Pisces kind of light. Looks like almost like it's a rip or something similar to this kind of a shape, only more of a Vesica Pisces, but just kind of like having and I see this light, and then they kind of become it. And so I feel like that what the reason that they're doing that is that they want to let me know that they're coming, trying to help me to not be startled. So they're just like, all right, here we come. Like people who text before they knock on your door, bless them. People who just come and knock on my door, half the time I just look at the phone and say, no one texted. And I don't even look to see who's here. They didn't text me. And so that's kind of what they're doing in that too. I'm excited for you. You're going to start to see a lot of awesome things, more than you've been seeing. Sarah says, hi, everyone. Amazing morning. Good to see you. Stacy Starseed, so glad you are here to reassure. I'm really glad you're able to join us too. There's a lot of individuals going through things and they don't even have any idea what's happening to them. And, there's a lot of stress involved in that of just, also many of us have been conditioned to think that there's, some kind of like bad thing coming, oh no, you might, especially when, for me, I still go there with heart palpitations. When the heart palpitations get pretty intense, then all of a sudden I'm just, is my heart going to be okay? I go there, and if you do, please go see a doctor, make sure that you're all right. I've talked to people and helped people that I've energetically been working with them, and then later on found that there was also a physical manifestation of the density that we've been working at. So Christy, struggling for sure, trying to remain positive, but also trying to acknowledge the transformation and transform all the negative things, although it's so hard currently. Yeah, it is. So the best thing that we can do, is just to be in the gratitude place. And it sounds so much easier sometimes than it actually can be, because on occasion it does feel just like, I just don't give a flying F. I just don't. And that's also an empowering place to be. Allow yourself to be in those moments that you're in. If you're finding though that your frequency is lowering and you're in this place where, you're having so many negative frequencies coming to you, then perhaps work more on the soul fragment that's in your heart. This is a light beam. Everybody has it. There's like some people it's just like the head of a pin, and some people it can be every size, and it doesn't mean anything against or for an individual on the size that they're keeping at that time. It's just they're using it in different ways. And that light is completely only light. There's nothing can ever get in there and be in there that isn't of this purest, most perfect love light. And then as you breathe in through your nose, kind of in a meditation state, you're just being in your center and noticing your breath. When you breathe in through your nose, you're noticing breathing in the light of God, just sensing that cool, because light is cool, and that's why it feels that way. And that's why we get colder when we get higher frequency, because we're closer to the light. And then breathing out, I notice that I'm expanding this bubble, expanding it bigger and bigger, full completely. Remember, starting it's only light and pushing it out and breathing it out and out, growing like a balloon until it's as big as your energetic sphere. Sometimes our energy is really stretched out, and sometimes it's kind of contained. So just do it as big as you feel that it's needed. Once you move that stuff out, that any of the density can't be within it, so it pushes it all out. And it acts as an energetic shield. It allows you to be able to not have to thwart all the energy that comes in. It's kind of like bam, bam. It kind of gets stuck on the outside, which is really freaking awesome. So maybe trying some of that kind of thing. Christy, I hope I'm saying your name right. John says, hey, higher vibrations, thanks for the updates, and nice to know there are others feeling this. I stopped eating meat 6 months ago. This normal? I feel great. Yes, it is. You probably heard me mention it a moment ago about I was a full-on carnivore. There would be times where like dinner was meat. I'm having chicken. I'm having steak. That was, and then sometimes, there would be, slowly I noticed for me particularly, my body started acting as if it was allergic to certain kinds of meat. And over time, it was completely no meat. On occasion, there'll still be meat in my diet. I don't seek it out particularly, though it has happened on occasion. And I've noticed that my body has for sure immediately wanted to get rid of it. And so I kind of feel like those occasions happen in order to help clean the system. And I've had cravings for things that I intentionally have omitted over time. And it's the same kind of thing where I notice it's kind of like my body wants to cleanse. So yeah, that's really cool. And it's not just meat. I've slowly found that I don't resonate with food that is contained in steel or metal cans. And I still will on occasion. It's not always possible to avoid canned food, though for the most part, I do my best. And I will have a symptom and a feeling of a need to purge if I do. And this is not suggesting anything to anyone in particular. It's just listen to your body. Your body's telling you these things. What's fun about the meat thing is, at least in my area, they're calling it meat allergy. The doctors are actually talking about it. It's really cool, and it's fun that more people are at least acknowledging it in whatever worldly way that they need to. 1111, hey, good to see you. I've only been having like one meal a day. It's like I want to eat, but when I do, I'm so full. Happy summer. Yes, this is something that I've been experiencing too. I've been feeling it. So just, you feel hungry, but there's just no appetite. And so for me, really quickly, I do what's called intermittent fasting. I'm not saying I'm not going to eat. What I'm doing is, I've noticed throughout my life, I was always ill every day until about lunchtime or so. And it was due to breakfast. I always made myself eat breakfast because it's the healthiest meal of the day. And who doesn't want to be healthy? And so I'd eat breakfast. And then I'd feel sick all day or for several hours. And one day, quite a while ago, I gave myself permission to not have to eat breakfast anymore. And then gradually it became no lunch as well. And sometimes I'll even forget to eat dinner. And there was a time where I went almost 30 days I was drinking juice and tea, and I didn't even realize how long I had gone without eating dinner. And so it's just something that people do. And, be aware of your own body's limitations and what stuff that you're bringing to it. Some people have things that they need to be very aware of, their blood sugar and things. So, excuse me, this isn't like prescribed to you, though, allowing yourself to follow your body. Are dry hands potentially a symptom, asks Molly. I would say so. I've been noticing that's not only hands, though hands would make sense. A lot of people who are healers, honestly, most of you are healers in some way, and are noticing that the skin is changing, the need for oil. I hadn't actually thought of that until someone had said it, and oil really helped. I was getting a lot of us getting like these bumps and these weird like rashes and almost like eczema-like sensations as well, and really dry, and also like just weird nail bed kind of stuff happening, and your skin just uncommon. And so then starting to add oil on your body, like a lotion. I've found that I'll use like sunflower oil the most. People will use coconut oil. Those kinds of oils can be useful, but there are specific ones that are designed that I remember someone said they gave me a name for something that I can't remember because it was all like letters and numbers. But anyway, look into it. That might help you. Vegan Vixen, thank you. She says, hit the like button for Pamela, guys. Thank you very much. It's annoying that it does really help. I had a video just not too long ago, and we hit a certain amount of likes, and I got a notification that now they're going to let more people witness, or they're going to put it in more people's suggestions that haven't come to the channel before. And it's given people, a wider group of people, the chance to know that they're not alone. So thank you for doing that. Jackie says, my kitty has been sleeping more. Yes, sometimes she's acting sketchy. Yep, a lot of that. They're aware of what's happening in some way. Donna says, thank you so much, Pamela, for the info on animals. So grateful to you for these chats. Lots of love to you. Thank you so much, Donna. Mary says, just started giving my dogs blueberry. Cool. Yeah, allowing these animals, I really, every time I say it, I don't know if you can see the look on my face. It doesn't feel like it's a correct word for them because they're family, and they're, allowing them to have natural foods. There's a lot of different kind of berries that help. Elderberry was one that the cat here likes. And it's very useful, elderberry. Whatever you have available, it's really cool. Craig plays games. Love this people actually talking about these things. I've been seeing little bits of colors appearing around me, but I feel heavy and just not well in a weird way. The mornings are rough. Curry helps. Oh, really? That's interesting that curry helps. Yeah, so totally. The colors, I've been seeing the colors coming in when they first started coming in for me. They look kind of like a small root system of like a flower, really densely packed. And they were like just like little lines. I've tried to draw a little graph on some of my videos before. Um, what's most noticeable about them to me, apart from how beautiful and loving they feel really joyful and giddy and happy, is that they are consistently, each one of them a different color usually, but consistently one color. So we have a violet one and a red one and a blue one, that kind of thing. That's how I see those colors. Um, and then I've been seeing a wider variety of color too. And so that's been really fun. Like the colors are more vibrant and beautiful. Feeling heavy and noticing that, I have been doing that too. In between, I've been doing back and forth. So I feel really heavy. And then also when I feel heavy, I notice the world looks like I'm shorter than I was a minute ago. And then when I'm feeling light, then I feel like I'm taller. And the world around me looks like I can see it as a taller person. It's really interesting. And then Craig Plays Game says, it was chaos and Asda today. It hasn't really been like that before. We're talking about all the people probably, going out around the people. Everyone is sensing what's going on. The difference is the few of us, and there are quite a few of us, though the ones of us that are aware of what's happening are the ones that have the chance to kind of not have to be in a panic place about it completely, which is really great. But yeah, everyone's feeling it. Janice says, crazy lady here with some crazy symptoms. You're not crazy. You're with it. You're in the right place. Anybody else here feeling like their feet are digging in the floor or body in the bed? Crazy sensation I get when I have lots of energy running through my body. Yeah, I get that all the time. I've been having that for a very long time. When I was a teenager, it started to be really noticeable. And at the same when that was happening, I also started to notice it felt like as I was walking, so I'm like walking down the road and here is my hips, then it would feel like my legs were straight ahead of me as I was walking. It felt like they were really just straight forward. And yet I was walking. I walked a lot. I loved that. I have a little one right now, so we do more driving than I particularly care for. And so allowing that energy to, what you're doing is you're sensing and noticing that we are all one, and we're all connected, and you're very much part of your environment. You can choose to, in that place, kind of like a buffet, picking the parts that you want to kind of absorb and leaving the rest as a way of kind of choosing what you want to have in your energetic sphere. So it's pretty cool. Thank you for saying something about that. I haven't really thought about that for a while, but I do it all the time. That's what I am doing when I'm talking about digging your roots, energetic roots into the ground, is that I feel my energy like connecting with the chair I'm sitting on, and then moving through the chair and connecting and moving down into the ground, into the floor rather, and then down, down, down. Like that's allowing that flow, that motion to happen, Jenna, will really help you as well as a lot of other people. We are here to heal and to move things for ourselves as well as in service for others. Thank you for sharing that. Purple Dallas, so much insomnia. OMG, I can't deal. Also, we've gone up another octave. Yes, we have. I think I'm embodying the energies of 7-7 Gateway already. The 7-7 Gateway, everyone, is a particular big one this year. So that's July 7th. The reason that it's more profound this year than it's been recently is that numerologically speaking, that means to add the numbers together to find out what the whole number is. And 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. And so it's a 777 portal. And yes, I agree with you. I'm already feeling the 777 portal too. The insomnia, my insomnia experience, people would probably call it insomnia. What I'm finding is I just don't want to go to bed. Like I want to get sleep. Like I am tired. I want to get sleep. But after a certain time, if I'm up by midnight, and I usually am, then I've crossed some kind of threshold of like, now for some reason don't want to go to bed. Excuse me, even though I'm tired, even though I really would like to be. And when I get to sleep, when I get into bed, I'm so happy about it. I don't know. It's like a child defiantly staying awake. So that's my insomnia experience, is that I've been doing that still. The past couple of days, I've been going to bed lots earlier, though, at the same time. Fleur de Lis says, love to say the Ho'oponopono prayer when driving or at work. I love that. That is a really, anyone who's interested, you could find a lot of examples of that on YouTube as well as other resources. John says, I'm sleeping more than ever and lower back discomfort, but working out a lot more. The sleeping is really, really a big deal right now, and lower back. And so, it could be both. It could be aggravating it in both, by working out as well as what's happening, because it's really happening for a lot of people. It's the energy of the sacral chakra, that orange chakra. To me, it looks like a portal energy, because it has like this tunnel that moves out. So I'm looking at the body on the side, so like this is your left side or whatever. And then there's your sacral chakra that's kind of represented from the front. There's like this energy line, like light coming out on both sides. And that is affecting, for me, was affecting the lower back. And then everybody else started to mention it too. What I did to resolve that was I went in there in meditation. I went into that portal. I walk. It's like a corridor. It's like a round hallway, like a tube, and you just walk through there. Enter in your meditation, and it's like orange at first, and then it can change colors. And it's okay if it changes colors. You're not doing anything wrong. And walk through to the end. There's an opening of some kind for everybody there. Often, what I'll see is the expanse of space. Some people will enter into a whole different reality, or a different world, rather. It's where you're meant to go. In this place, a lot of us have kind of hidden the energy of the inner child, which is the inner child work, also known here in the spiritual community as shadow work. If you're interested in looking up any of the meditations, there's so many meditations. Shadow work, guided meditation would be what the wording you would use here on YouTube, and you'd find a variety of different amazing ways to assist that. Excuse me. So thank you for mentioning that. Okay. My puppy, 10 years old, is sleeping more too. Oh, a lady at the grocery who I've never spoken to looked at me and growled, then left the line. Whoa, that never happened before. There you go. You're holding a higher light. You're holding a higher frequency, and yeah, just needing a lot of sleep right now. All of us, the animals, the friends, and just everybody. Allowing yourself to do that sometimes is hard. Like there's a lot of like conditioning about that we try to think that that's not okay somehow in our head. Yuri says, what do you dislike about the, I don't know what this is. Sorry, Yuri. Let's see. I have terrible nausea today, says Luminous Light. So I had that too. I actually know I purged. This was a little bit ago. And what I started to do was to keep salt water nearby, and I stopped having that sensation. I leaned into it and asked, and the answer I got back over and over again was, for me, it had to do with the solar flares, that it was causing a sensation of nausea, and I didn't like it. Just, who does? And so I started having more buckets of salt water nearby when we're having solar flares, and just changing it out regularly, because I feel like I want that energy to be, its purest, and I don't know, it just kind of feels like that the salt absorbs the stuff that our body doesn't want, and you kind of want to dispose of it and get new stuff. So this is I found that you don't need to be concerned about what kind of salt you use for this. What it's doing is it's ionizing the air. So what happens is all of us get these just full of all these positively charged ions, and they sound like they're good because they're positive, but you actually don't want those ones. You want the negative ones. And so that's what we do also when we ground by putting our feet on the earth. We're doing this to the air. We're taking all the positively charged ions that are coming, and the pummeling us when we're getting solar flares. They absorb them and they replace them with the negatively charged ions, and then it's like an energy purifier is basically what it is. So we'll have buckets of water, salt in it. Well, sometimes when we're getting a particularly large amount or large solar flares, I'll fill up the bathtub at least halfway and do the same thing, add some salt to that. And just it really changes the experience in the all of everything that I'm experiencing. So something to keep in mind. Hi, Pamela. Tareen says, it's Sylvia. Oh, hello. I've been taking activated charcoal, and I'm thinking about adding food grades silica. Any thoughts? I don't really have I do think that that's a really good idea to move and let some of the parasitical energies leave our bodies. We don't always have to reach out to outside things to do these things for us. That's why I hesitated. Is everyone's answer to these questions are different. Some of us have noticed that we've collected a lot of the unharmonious things into our experience, into our bodies throughout this lifetime, and it's kind of like added up. And so having an outside means in this way to assist this transition and this transmutation, I guess is the right wording, will definitely help. And so keeping that in mind, doing your own research and being sure that I definitely feel that the cleansings are helpful, that they really do help us. Just being aware of what you're doing, and also considering the your body, making sure that it can have the impact on you that won't cause too much trauma or stress on your body. So just gentle ones is what I'm trying to say. I do have to go in a moment, though. I just want to look at. I saw that Laura C popped in, and she says a random stabbing in my ear, not the eardrum. Yeah, I've actually, I recorded a video yesterday. I've been so busy, and I haven't had the chance to fully edit it yet. I'm doing it now. Well, I was doing it before this, and I noticed that too. And while I was doing, I cut that out because I kept going, and it just was distracting from what I was trying to say. And that's where the editing will be, is when I'm grabbing my ear. And then it was the other ear. And at one point I said, is it my earrings? And I took my earrings out for a minute, and something with, and then I've also noticed that there's been like purging, like stuff that's coming out of my skin, like not just the ears, but all the way around. And it's not acne like or boil like, it's just purge. It's the most bizarre thing. And so, yeah, I do resonate with what you said. She didn't think of anything about it at the time. It's in the evening, and it was in the evening when I did it too. Well, it was early evening. Yeah, it was evening. Yeah, so we're having a lot of these things. We have a lot of chakras that we're not aware of. The primary chakras are the ones we're taught about, the 7. And within each of the 7, by the way, there's 12 and 7. So then it starts over again. And then there are all of the minor chakras. So the minor chakras are the ones that are on all of your joints and all of your major areas. Your fingers have so many. You look at your fingers when you're looking at the chakra energy, it's like, whoa, it's kind of alien-like. It's kind of fun. Anyway, so yeah, this is an area of chakra activation. A lot of people are having this ear, behind the ear. It's like next to the cochlear. So like the bump down behind your ear, on both sides, that the end of your skull. And then also I saw a jaw mentioned, and so that's also an area that's happening. It's the same thing. It's the behind and the in front. These areas are activating, and we're having a lot of mouth and dental and throat stuff. This is all throat chakra stuff as well. And so, which the throat chakra, again, is probably got more chakras in its, like, there's a primary chakra, and then you go within. There are probably more throat chakras than there are in the system of the other primary chakras that I've been able to see. So it's very fascinating. So thank you all for this, for joining me today. And I really love you all. I really do. Having this community and this connection and this love come through is just so beautiful and recharging for so many, and the main message I'd like to bring out to you all is that you're not alone. You truly are not. We feel like it on occasion, though we're so connected. If you feel the desire, please connect with me. I offer one-on-one sessions. I also do weekly free group Zoom meetings on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They last 2 hours, and you don't have to have your camera on or your audio on. You can also come late and leave early if you or leave early. So just that's a way to connect. And then lastly, we have a Telegram group. There's 300 or so of us in this group, and there's all of this information is in the description of this video. You can find all those resources as well as my email address. I love you all. Stick in there. Please don't give up. We're really here. Like, this is the finish line. You made it. You made it. Just a little bit longer, and then we'll be able to rest. I love you. Aho blessings.